A couple of years back, right before COVID, we purchased this 8.5 acre lot. It's located at 992 Bridge Access, and we plan on building our retirement house, shop, home location on the lot that's out by the river. We separated out this lot into 3 sections. The one up by the highway is 1.5 acres. We sold it to Cassick's Brewery. We are sure looking forward to that down the way. So the lot is located on the mouth of the Kenai River in Alaska, and we look out over vast views of the river, the flats, and the mountains across the inlet. We have beautiful views. It's a southeasterly, mostly facing right toward the water. Of course, we have salmon species that come up through here, especially the sockeye salmon, the big run. We also have beluga whales up in here. We have seals, all kinds of birds, and of course, the commercial fishing boats tie up in this area. As you can see, I'm enjoying a little special time with my granddaughter, Sullivan. This photo shows the property lines coming out to the shoreline. The arrows are where we actually own to, which is the 19.5 foot mark. And this is the bluff that we're trying to protect. So we're going to show the rock wall gabion that we put in. This is the first load of 22 loads of rock. These are the 4-foot average rock, which is going to be the anchor for the rock wall we're putting in. We have now about 4 loads delivered, and I'm going to have to do a lot of sorting of these rocks to get the sizes so that they fit our building scheme. This shows, of course, now we have about 15, 16 loads in, and more to come. So after a few days of moving gravel, I've raised the driveway up a foot, capped it with some good binder material, cleaned this all up. This was a big hill full of trash, hauled it off, tapered it out. It'll get dirt on top of that so we can grow stuff, but this will be the main pull-around yard. There's Big Bertha. Just to give you an idea, those tires are 6'6" high. So Bertha's a big girl. She hauls about 6 yards when I heap her up. And that's the driveway right now up to the top of the hill. But hauled all this in, built this up 3-4 foot in here, and then it was tapered and just capped it, cleaned it all off. Cleaned out some of the tree areas in here. There's still some more alder crap to get cut out, and then we'll bring spruce trees back in there and just lay them in and grow them. But you can see all the rock for the wall that we got to put in for the river protection. There's approximately 250 feet of length there, and then another 75, 80 foot over there of smaller stuff. So I put this driveway, this will always be an access down to the river, because my thinking is the building will start in here and go that way, and shop going that way with a house out in the far side. But that hill has to be brought down because we got to match this other material here. So I hauled in gravel, sand gravel in here so we can get access, because I got to haul all those rocks back there out to here and drop them over when we get the excavator here. So I was just checking here to make sure this hill is gravel. So far it looks like it. This will have to be filled in and compacted, but we'll dig all the trees out of it. but I got lots of material up behind. So we'll knock this down. It'll have to get tapered down to get down to the beach. The rocks will start right at the end of that wooden riparian crap there, and it'll go from there right along there all the way down and then tapered up, and that'll form the protection from the southwest blows that we get, which we're having right now. And only on the high tides does it erode, but it erodes quite a bit. So the house will be up over there. This will be all tapered down. So what you got here is I'm in the excavator. I rented a Bobcat excavator, and I have my wife Beck nudging Big Bertha toward me so I can scoop up trash and fill the bucket so that I can haul it away. And this really tested Beck's nerves the first time she ever got in and actually moved Big Bertha. And there she is. And of course, we had awful bugs this spring. So I'm standing up on top of the loader. That's the driveway coming in with all the rocks. So I've taken all the brush off, left the green area here where this is a low spot, but kind of scraped everything off to where it's got a little organics on top of the gravel sand. A little hill, that hole needs to be filled in and compacted. I got some kind of a trash hole here that I'm going to use the excavator and start just loading this and hauling it away. Get that hole cleaned out. There's the driveway going up to the fire pit area. Put a little gravel pad over in there, gonna fill that in. I'm gonna run a little stretch of gravel where the truck is, but that's where we're at. I'm going old school. Got the old red beast fired up. Put my little custom tailgate in to keep my tools. Papa's gonna look good. So once again at the property there, and you notice the blue in the back of the red truck, I put two 55-gallon drums so I could haul diesel around and fuel the equipment up. So yesterday I finished filling this in. I got a little low spot in there, but got to run over it for a bit to get it compacted. But anyway, I had to crank up Old Red because my Dodge 2018 diesel has got DEF problems. Yeah, anyway. So hauled in a shitload of gravel and smoothed her all out. Pretty happy with the landing right here now. So I'm starting the process of sorting the rocks. I got to get them sized. So as we build, we have the bigger ones at the very bottom, of course, and work our way up. So you can see here we got differing piles, and a lot of rock getting moved around and positioned. And then the sort for the small, now this is all the large rock right at the face of the bluff. That'll get set down onto the beach as we dig the gravel from underneath of it. So this is my drone shot of the overhead. You can see the rock that I've stacked out in the forward face of the property. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a pile of rock there actually. And then I place some 5-6 foot size numbers on the property so we could see kind of grid lines that I need to develop to place buildings so we know how they sit. So this worked really good with the drone overhead, and I'm going to print these out and put grid lines on them. Well, we're just making the first grid, the belly, so we can make our gravel bags behind the rocks. Got Grandma out there twisting wires. Now we're going to start laying the woven material, the black, on it, and that keeps the sand and gravels from going through it. This is the structural part. I hired Big Mike's Construction, and Mike Brown brought the 349E. It's a monster of an excavator over to do the initial work. This is him positioned after he set the rocks all down on the beach, and he's starting to excavate all the gravel so that we could save the gravel separate of the sandy material. This is an aerial shot from my drone. And then I have a bunch of stockpile rock there that is anywhere from 3.5 to 6-7 foot in diameter. Looking down on it as he's digging and excavating, saving the good gravel materials. Well, we're about an hour and a half into the project. He first took all the rocks off the top and set them all down over the side to get them out of the way. Now we're getting all the gravel, because I want to save all the gravel, and then we'll use all the sand underneath of it to fill all the backfill for the rock wall. And of course I got my bags all made for that, but this big old monster loader excavator picks up about 4 yards of material at a swipe. So it won't take any time to be up in this, done with this hill. So I'm standing up on top of the gravel pile. I'm probably 30 foot up from the sand layer. And Mike, misfortune of losing a hydraulic hose. It's about a 3-foot hose, and it's fairly easy to get to, so we'll be back going soon. But got a hell of a pile of gravel sitting here all of a sudden. I got more than enough to build up everything. Excavator is now situated down on the beach and digging in the trough for the anchor rock, all the biggest ones. I've moved all the stockpile rock up to there where Mike can grab it with the claws. So you can see he's down there working. He's actually got 80% of the rock in position. He's got one track on top of the rock and one on the sand. So he's just finishing up this one little spot. He's grabbing that last of that anchor rock, and then we'll move on to back up top and dig the sand out of the way so we can start setting. Once again, another shot from the drone showing the rock has been in place now, and we're starting the bottom course of the rock riparian wall coming up. The second tier of rock is in place, and you can see now we actually have our gabion bags that we've laid that we previously made to save time. It's been curled back with 2.5 foot of sand put in it. So that reflects here from the drone the length and the wrap up to the property line. And we're laying in sand so we can get the cap part done. So we have 2 layers of gabion bags here now. And we'll backfill with sand, and then we'll set all the other rock that's still back there in the back view onto the top and face of it. So we're just getting ready there to place rock on the face, get the cleanup so we can move up and down it.
Well, we're all done with Big Girl. He's going to bring a smaller one in now so that we can do the small rocks for the cap and the trim work. This one here is just a little too big, so it's going bye-bye. And of course the wind is blowing. Mike's doing a little cleanup on the hill that I filled in with dirt for some growth in there. Somebody had dug out years ago a bunch of gravel. Just smoothing her out a little. And this is the one we swapped out for the big machine. He brought in his 320 obviously, and set all the rock out on the face out there with it.
Great view from the finished product. I have it all leveled out now. In the background there is about 100 boats, dip net boats for personal use. So this is the transition going down, and of course this is coming in from the entrance of the yard, our big hill of gravel. So the transition, it's all capped with washed, gravel D1 out of the yard here. But there's the mermaid rock. I had this one big rock that had like a seat on it. And this is the face with a bunch of sand we piled so that it'll wash out and settle. And then all this will wash out. But all the boats are out there dipping. Dip net central. And the fish are jumping everywhere out here right now. They're splashing way out there. It's just boiling with reds right now. I call this the mermaid rock, obviously. It had a flat spot on it to sit on, and then it had a 45-degree angle for a back even. But the rock was 8 foot long and 6 foot wide and 5 foot, 6 foot high, and perfect rock just for that use. Well, this is our first morning coming down for coffee. Beautiful morning. We're gonna have a little coffee sitting on our mermaid rock. It's July 21st. We had a high tide at 6:30. It's about 7:15 right now. It'll start eating away the sand a little bit, layering it down. Beautiful morning out. This is the drone aerial view of where we're at right now and what we got accomplished and finished. So this was over a month time of getting prepped, ready, and then putting the rocks in. It really was only a 2-day project putting the rocks and the gabions in. So that's looking at the southeast direction. Coming around, we'll be looking at the south direction with all the dip net boats in the background and a few commercial boats. You can see the big hill of gravel that we excavated out, and That's going to be a money-saving pile of gravel there, and it's beautiful, clean stuff. As you come up here, you can see there's a little gravel path that I put in. I used the Bobcat T62 track unit that I rented and dug it out 1.5 feet and filled it back in with gravel from the borrow site that I have on the other property. Flying out over the river right now, we're going to turn and view looking northerly. So that's the northerly shot looking at it. The hill of gravel. I think we're going to sweep up over top the little pathway that I put in. This hill here is about 15, 18 foot higher than the building area down below. And it would be a pretty nifty spot to put in 3, maybe 4 cabins for summer use. We would use this gravel path to access them. There's a little parking area to the left that I put in. This here runs out to the middle lot that we divided out, and we wouldn't access from here. Of course, it would stop there because this is the middle lot. This is where I brought in a lot of the gravel from right here at that spot that filled in the main pad of our lot that we're accessing on. That just showed a little hill that I put in. It's about 10 foot high as a buffer. That's our main entrance coming in. So this is looking at the main entrance. Right there's the cone. That's our property line. And that pile of concrete over there's property line. So this is the island in between. We're kind of going to have a roundabout in a way. This could be our entrance, our main entrance coming into the house. You can see this hill of material for a buffer I put in. That'll be planted. We got a bunch of organic there, and we're just going to throw seeds and wildflowers and let it do its thing. In a couple of years, it'll look like a lot of what's around it. Hopefully a lot of fireweed. This will be our driveway coming in, of course, to the house. I'm actually flying the drone from our house that we live in right now, and it's 2,300 feet away. So I'm sitting on the deck at the house, just driving this around to get some pictures. You can see the gravel pile, and we're going to fly out over. There's the area, Mermaid Rock. And of course our view. Pretty spectacular. Hopefully we'll start building next summer. And there's the face of the rock. You can't see, we piled a bunch of sand there. The tides, the high tides will start knocking that all down and cleaning it up. Little mud, gravel look at the shoreline. The buoys for the commercial boats out in front of us. The next door neighbor's property. There's a bunch of dip netters out there dipping sockeye. So I hope you enjoyed the look at our property and our next project, I guess. We're at phase 1 done. This was quite the undertaking, but pretty happy with where we're at right now. Now we just got to wait to see what Mother Nature does, and we'll be watching Mother Nature knock this sand down, and it'll start exposing the rocks once again. So thank you. So this is the reason why we had to put all this rock on the face of the property. This is a 23-foot tide, and this is looking from the south toward the north. And you can see here where the rocks are, the sand is getting taken away from the rocks, settling down. But this is to break the wave action that comes in especially the fall storms. So this is just a quick view of how the water comes up. Now that we will have a tide that's another foot higher,